Right, buddy, welcome back to the latest Manchester United news. In this video, we'll be talking about the latest on MBUEMO, a huge update on EMI Martinez, Palhinha, Anthony returning, and obviously more MBUEMO stuff as well. We're going to start off by talking about the Bryan MBUEMO situation. I'm going to go through all the news first and then have my say on it. So, Manchester United are on the verge of seeking a full agreement to sign Bryan MBUEMO with significant progress made in talks with Brentford. Mets winger Sheikh Salabi is lined up as his replacement. So that was in the morning. Then later on in the afternoon, we said Bryan MBUEMO to Manchester United is close to being completed. An announcement should be made within a week from now. That's coming in from Talk Sport. Ben Jacobs via United Stand said Manchester United now in contact with Brentford over Bryan MBUEMO, making verbal suggestions regarding the structure of a deal. So when they make their official second bid, it is with the utmost confidence that it will be accepted. Manchester United have offered Brentford a package worth more than 60 million. However, Brentford wants 70 million, according to Duncan Castles. And obviously, if Tottenham meet Brentford's 82 million euro price to Bryan MBUEMO, he might prefer Tottenham. I don't think that case is true. But yeah, that's the latest on the MBUEMO situation. So we know that United are going to go in for a second bid. We know how much he's worth. And listen, there's confidence that the deal can get done shortly. And I think that's ultimately what will happen. It's 60 mil plus the offer that's latest been made. I think it should be accepted. But yeah, hopefully that deal will be done soon. He's a very, very good player. And yeah, very, very technical quality. And it's all about sealing the deal now. I think Manchester United, we're in advanced talks. Manchester United in advanced talks to sign MBUEMO. We want to give them 60. They want 62.5 to 65. So, listen, there's only a few £1 million left in kind of the figures. I think ultimately that deal will happen soon. I think Bryan MBUEMO will become a Manchester United player. And then we can move on to other targets, whether that be in a striker, whether that's being a keeper, whether that's being hopefully sales as well. And then we can move on to that. We know Cunha was a priority. We got him in the door already. You want to now get MBUEMO through the door as well. And I think that's something that Manchester United really would like to do as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about. Listen, the Bryan MBUEMO deal is close. It will happen soon. And that's all really to say on that. Now, I want to talk about the goalkeeper situation. Now, there's been a lot of talks about EMI Martinez. And Fabrizio has said as well, and there's been a lot of other talks from Argentina about he's ready to join Manchester United. He's willing to accept. Obviously, Aston Villa are in a poor position PSR-wise. Spent 96% of their revenue from last season. They need to sell players. Now, EMI Martinez, initial contacts have taken place. He's ready to say yes. That's coming from Fabrizio. Fabrizio also added, Manchester United have received positive feedback from EMI Martinez, the goalkeeper option if Onana leaves, with initial contacts already made. EMI Martinez would be willing to join United without UCL football. Initial contact has been made with his agent, and Martinez is waiting to see what happens with Andre Onana. Manchester United are not desperate to sell Onana, and he's still part of the project. But in the case of good proposal for all parties, he is not untouchable. And EMI Martinez has said yes and positive feedback. So listen, United probably are just waiting on the Onana situation to really make a decision. Obviously, there's been links to Manchester United as well. Diogo Costa, internally United are fans of him. Listen, United made contact. Martinez wants to stay in England, obviously with their PSR rules and the structure at their club at the moment. They need to sell players, and obviously a lot of their key players will be up for grabs. And that's Aston Villa have been on a great upwards trajectory, but it hasn't really benefited them, and I think they will lose a lot of key players. I think EMI Martinez will go, and listen, the price is ridiculous. Now let's talk about the player. As I said, there's lots with all players. There's positives and negatives. I've seen a lot of people say that he is a bit of a problem. He's a bit arrogant. I think sometimes his arrogance is kind of misunderstood with confident. I think he's a very, very confident player, believes in his ability. He is a bit rash sometimes, which again is not a good thing. We've seen a lot of erratic players at United before, but there's no doubt he's a better keeper than Onana, a better shot stopper, and immediately just improves the quality of the team. He's a player that demands a lot, a player that, again, at 30 years old for £40 million from Aston Villa, who I believe are in I think they just missed out on Champions League, but they're on the upwards trajectory. They had a way better season than Manchester United. can go for that is quite shocking. I think United will end up signing Martinez if Onana goes, and as I said, that's independent. I think what's happening at the moment is if Onana goes, United will just accelerate. With Martinez, is obviously he's the first choice. They're making contact probably just to see what happens, as I said, if Onana does leave Manchester United. For me personally, what I would do, I would get them MBUEMO deal over the line. I'd then go for a striker, then sort out a midfielder, and then if you have time, potentially go for the goalkeeper. And I think that's the thing that's going to hold United back, whether we can actually do it all in one window. And again, listen, Ineos said they're different. Let's see if they can get it all done in one window. But that's the latest on that. On the Gyökeres and the striker stuff, Victor Gyökeres is of the belief that he can control his transfer situation. When he chooses his club, simple negotiations can take place with the said club. His agreement with the club regarding the move away wasn't 100% down to transfer fee, it was a fee of the level of control regarding the outcome. Now on the striker situation, the feeling is Ruben Amorim prefers to keep Joshua Zirkzee over Rasmus Højlund. And I think that's something that we've known as fans. I think we know, if we're being honest, Zirkzee, like, listen, if you ask me, maybe just before around Christmas time, it would well be Zirkzee leaving before Højlund. Now, again, you look at how time has switched and how things have gone and developed in 6 months. Zirkzee looks miles better than Rasmus Højlund technically and quality-wise. Now, obviously, we've seen some reports as well suggesting that Manchester United wouldn't sign the striker, with Cunha and MBUEMO expected to start some of the games in that number 9 position. And obviously you have Zirkzee there as well to provide that fluidity. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. The next thing I want to talk about, Marcus Rashford is expected to have his number 10 revoked and reassigned to Matheus Cunha. So that's coming in from Samuel Luckhurst. Now, could that mean Rashford staying? Because if you get your number revoked, he hasn't got the appears to get the number taken off him. But listen, I still think Rashford will go. Obviously, we know Cunha wants the number 10, and I think Manchester United either waiting for Rashford to go or will just take the number off him and give it to Matheus Cunha, and I think that's something that should happen. A few things. I'm going to end by talking about the Palhinha situation now. Manchester United are ready to explore a loan deal for João Palhinha if it becomes clear he will be available after holding internal talks with Bayern Munich over his future. Now, João Palhinha obviously at Fulham was fantastic. Actually, I don't know how old he is now. I'll have a look. But João Palhinha was someone who, again, when he was leaving Fulham to go to... Was it last? Yeah, it was last summer. When he was leaving Fulham to go to Bayern, United were heavily linked to him. And obviously Sander Berge as well. But then we ended up signing Ugarte, who again United apparently believe can become a top quality midfielder. So, but yeah, Manchester United ready to explore a loan deal for 48 million Bayern Munich star. So listen, he's 29, so again, a bit more on the experience side. Again, if it's a loan deal, I genuinely wouldn't mind doing it. Manchester United are waiting to discover whether it would be possible to recruit Bayern Munich star João Palhinha on a temporary basis after the basis become clear that Atlanta fan favourite is out of the Old Trafford recruitment. So yeah, listen, a loan deal. Listen, I don't mind him. Permanent deal, £48 million. He obviously left Fulham for. For me personally, what I would do is, he's a player, don't get me wrong, I really do like Palhinha when he was at, I don't know if he played for, like how much minutes he gets for them, but I certainly wouldn't mind him joining United. I think he's that sort of midfielder that we need. Again, the only issue would be the age. We signed Casemiro at 30, and again, we just didn't know how many years he has at the top level left. I think we need someone in the region of 26, 27 who had that experience but still got 3-4 more years at the top level. As I said, I'm not going to say no to João Palhinha, but I think Manchester United already have a similar profile. Not saying they're similar players and similar quality, but yeah, similar quality. But let me know your thoughts. Genuinely, I would get João Palhinha if I'm honest with you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Antony situation. Could he be staying at Manchester United? Now, all parties want a permanent transfer of Antony. Manchester United are not willing to give a favour to Real Betis and allow them to extend their loan to a second season. There's a chance that Antony to stay at Manchester United for pre-season as they look for a potential suitor. So could Antony be staying at United? I mean, listen, you can understand they want a permanent deal. He had a decent loan at Betis, put himself in the shop window. I just don't think he has a future at United anymore. He just doesn't have the quality. And yeah, let's see if we can get in the region between 25 to 40 million for him. I think there's a player in there at a different club. Where that club is, we don't know. There has been limited interest. A few Italian clubs have been mentioned. Obviously, Real Betis. I don't think they can afford him on a permanent basis. But for me, I'd look at Antony leaving. As I say, get some money for him and move on. I don't think he should be staying at United, and United should be actively looking to get him out of the club. As I said, Antony does. If he goes into pre-season, there's a big chance he could stay. And I think from now we have 30 days until United play their first pre-season game. Around 15-16 days until United go into pre-season. So for me personally, I'd be looking at getting Antony gone before then. In terms of clubs that's going to be interested, there's not many, but I'm sure United will look and wait for potential suitors to come in. If it's a loan deal, so it may be, but we need to really get rid of players. I mean, players at the club that should be gone already. Malacia, there's nothing coming in from him. Luke Shaw should be gone. Obviously Evans is left, Lindelof's left. Onana should be going, but again, we've talked about the Martinez stuff. Binder should be going. Heaton's extended. In midfield, for me personally, Casemiro's got to go. I don't really like him as a player, but if we're being realistic, he's got to go. He's on ridiculous wages. And yeah, Rashford, Sancho, Antony, Garnacho, they're big players. I've got to go as well. So listen, let's see what happens. That has been the latest update. Some interesting news. I think the MBUEMO deal will get done soon. It's very close to being completed. EMI Martinez, listen, there's interest from Manchester United, but it all just depends on what happens with Andre Onana. But listen, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy.